Hello everyone! With the Legacy of the Sith expansion being launched for Star Wars The Old Republic, a big change has come to the game in the form of combat styles. In this video, we'll be going over what combat styles are and how you can take advantage of them. Combat styles, in short, are how you fight in combat in the game. In the past, if you were choosing a story, you would only have 2 combat styles available for you. For example, in this case, I'm choosing to play the Sith Warrior story. In the past, I would have to choose between playing the Marauder, who wields 2 single lightsabers, or the Juggernaut, who wields a single lightsaber. They're different when they come to fighting, but I only had these 2 options available. Now, in the expansion, even brand new free-to-play players will have more options when it comes to combat and how they play their character. So if I decide to play the Sith Warrior story, now not only can I play the Marauder, the Juggernaut like I could before, but I can also play the double-bladed Assassin and the Sorcerer, who mostly fights with lightning. If you're a more experienced player, you will have some additional choices show up in your character creator, and this will depend on if you have the correct achievement and unlock. If you want to play a kind of light-sided Sith Warrior or a light-sided Sith Inquisitor, you would need to have the Light 5 achievement, where you've earned Light 5 on any of your characters on your account. And same things for vice versa to make a dark-sided-ish Jedi character. So since I'm a more experienced player, I also have the Sage available for my Sith Warrior, the Shadow with a double-bladed lightsaber, the Guardian, and the Sentinel. And I will be able to play with the Sentinel's animations, with the Sentinel's weapon type, and with the Sentinel's attacks. One important thing to know is that if you choose Marauder, you will have the weapons of the Marauder, you will have the attacks of the Marauder, and you will have the animations of the Marauder. You do not get to mix and match these in any way. For example, you cannot play a Marauder but with a double-bladed lightsaber. It does not work that way. Another way it doesn't work is that if you choose the Sith Inquisitor, who uses a lot of lightning in the story, but you decide to play as a Marauder, you won't get any lightning on your Marauder because you have chosen that combat style and you get the weapons, the animations, and the attacks of that combat style. So although there are some restrictions when it comes to dark and light for newer players when it comes to the Sith and the Jedi, if you're playing a tech class, for example, the Bounty Hunter or the Imperial Agent, or on the Republic side, the Trooper or the Smuggler, there are no restrictions for tech users. So if I want, I can right away, even a brand new free-to-play level 1 character can create a Bounty Hunter Mercenary, Power Tech, Sniper, Operative, Gunslinger, Scoundrel, Commando, or Vanguard. And this is exactly the same in that if I decide to play a Commando, I will have the weapon of the Commando, I will have the abilities of the Commando, and I will have the attacks of the Commando, even though I'm a bounty hunter in the story. Unfortunately, I cannot be a Commando but use a different type of weapon. I must still use that awesome assault cannon. Another really cool addition in this expansion that's available only to subscribers is that subscribers can add a second combat style to their character. To see this, you can press the K button on your keyboard to open up your combat styles, K for combat, and you can see right here I'm currently playing an assassin. I have available to add a second combat style. An important thing to know is that the second combat style is not a combination. You cannot combine Assassin with the second combat style. You don't get to be like, I'm Assassin with a double-bladed lightsaber, but I get to use the abilities of a Marauder. No, you get to add a second combat style and then swap between your original one and your new second one. You can swap anytime that you are not in an instance, so you can't be inside a Flashpoint or inside a story instance, and you have to be out of combat. But it's very, very cool, and it seems to work pretty good. So how do you add a second combat style? This second combat style that you add is a permanent choice. You can choose between your first and your second pretty freely, but once you've chosen your second, there is no going back. So to add a second combat style, click the available button or click the launch button on the training in the Force. Not all players will see this. If you're a very new player, even if you're a subscriber, you will not see it because you need to have first played through any of the class stories on your server. You can pick any class story, play it all the way through chapter 3, and then all of your characters on your account will be, or on your server, will be eligible for a second combat style, but before then, you're stuck with one. So you're going to press launch. It's going to show you an extremely, extremely beautiful combat style choice selection cutscene. If you're on a Force user, you're going to see this very beautiful red and blue selection. If you're on a tech user, you're going to see a slightly different scene with like a droid, and you will get a little preview of your options before you choose them. As I mentioned, this is a permanent choice, so you probably don't want to start this cutscene until you are ready. However, if you get scared and you realize, oh no, I'm not quite ready to choose yet, I don't want to make that permanent choice, don't forget, you can press escape on your keyboard during any cutscene in the entire game, and you can exit out and restart. This one you can restart at any time that you're ready, or you can just let it sit in your quest log until you feel you are comfortable choosing. So we're going to spacebar a little bit forward, and we're going to get to this point where I can add a second combat style to my character. Much like when creating a character, you may or may not have all of these options available. So by default, since I am playing a Sith warrior, or a Sith Inquisitor, I don't even remember, a Sith. I have these Sith options available. So I am currently an assassin, and I could add Juggernaut, Marauder, or Sorcerer. Because I also have the Dark 5 unlock available, I also have these options for the Jedi. So I can add Jedi Guardian as my second, Jedi Sentinel as my second, Jedi Shadow as my second, or Jedi Sage as my second. There is some more interesting potential for those to be available if you happen to have a character who leaned towards the dark side or not, but it's a bit finicky, and if you want to learn more about that, please visit my other video called Combat Styles FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions, that will help answer a lot of your more in-depth questions about this system. So this is a permanent choice. It does give you a couple chances to exit out. So I am going to choose, for this character, I'm going to add the Jedi Sentinel, a very different type of character than what I'm playing right now as the assassin. So this cutscene is going to show me a little animation, a little preview of what the Sentinel looks like. The Sentinel has two single lightsabers and tells me a little bit about it. There's no voiceover, so you do just have to read it. I hit things with my lightsabers as a Sentinel. I can chuck my lightsaber. Awesome! Sounds super cool. So once you get past the animation, you can either say, yes, I want to do that, or no, I want to go back and learn about different combat styles, and you can actually cycle through and see that little cutscene for all of those if you want, very safely. You do not lock in your choice until you see a big pop-up, so you're fine until that point happens. So do you want to add knowledge of the Jedi Sentinel combat style to your skills? Yes, I'm ready to learn. And it'll say, the consequences of this decision are permanent. So you have to lock it in a second time. There will be a box that also pops up that says it's a permanent choice. Only press OK. Only press continue if you want that for your second combat style. Otherwise, press cancel, press escape, and you can come back later once you've decided. So let's go spacebar. That's the end of that cutscene, and it'll send us back to where we were before. And so now we can switch between my original one that I chose, which was the Assassin, and I can now switch to my newly chosen one, Sentinel. And I'm only allowed to do this because I am a subscriber and I have finished Chapter 3 of my class story for at least one of my characters on my account. You'll notice right here we've got combat styles, and I've got, I can switch to Sentinel. Ta-da! I'm now Sentinel. Oh, I'm naked. I'm now Sentinel, and I have all these Sentinel's attacks, and I can switch back to Assassin. And I have all the attacks of the Assassin here. Perfect. Awesome. So in addition to this update, the kind of third big change was that each of the different ways that you can fight in the game, each one is called a discipline, and their parents are combat styles, has had major changes to it. And this is the new ability tree. In the ability tree, each line with 3 abilities on it is a choice you can make. You can click them to choose them, and you can roll over them to learn which one you might like. You can change these quite easily pretty much anytime you're not in combat. combat. The last big change is called Loadouts, and they allow you to save presets. They would probably help me not be naked right now if I'd set up some loadouts beforehand. And I highly recommend, if you plan on playing multiple combat styles, before you start clicking random buttons over here to switch between them, which you can do is you have the ability to do as soon as you finish cutscenes, but I wouldn't touch it right away. Instead, please go watch my other video about loadouts that will teach you how to use loadouts and save everything, and it will save you a lot of grief. I hope you liked that little overview of what combat styles are in Star Wars The Old Republic. If you have more questions, I have a big long video covering the most frequently asked questions in the game about combat styles in a separate video. And if you would rather that in a written form, I have that as well on Sorcerista.com. If you want to show your support for these awesome guides, visit Sorcerista.com/support. And if you want more videos explaining things about this wonderful game, please visit my YouTube channel and subscribe. See you guys later. May the Force and the Naked Nautilans be with you.